In this programme, we join Carmela and business English expert David Evans for the last in the series of Business Language to Go. The series that brings you the kind of everyday English that you won't learn from your standard textbook.
Today we're looking at business socialising, and as usual I'm joined by business English expert David Evans. David, how would you describe business socialising?
Well, I suppose business socialising really means any kind of communication between business people which doesn't relate specifically to the job that they're doing at that time. So it could be some colleagues socialising after work, or it could be people entertaining their customers, maybe over a meal or over drinks. It could be the kind of conversation that happens at a conference or at some kind of party or social event at which business people are meeting one another. In fact, socialising is often one of the hardest things for business people to do. In a meeting or in a presentation, there's a clear purpose to the business communication. But when you're socialising, there are just no rules.
But having said there are no rules, there are certain expressions that you'll often hear, and we'll be looking at those throughout today's programme. Let's join our first scenario. We're going to a breakfast meeting of Business Network International, a group of people from all professions who regularly get together to make business contacts.
Oh, hello, you must be Darren Johnson.
Yeah, hi there, nice to meet you. You are?
I'm Louise Moore. I think we met last time in Birmingham.
Right, yes, of course, sorry, I forgot all about it. That's right, that was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Actually, Darren, I think there'd be somebody that would be really useful for you to meet. Let me introduce you to Kevin Han later. He's a financial advisor.
A very typical start to a conversation there. David, can you talk us through some of the phrases those two people used?
Yes, they used a lot of very good expressions for introducing people or meeting people. Right at the beginning, we heard her say, "You must be Darren." She's using that phrase because she thinks she knows his name. She's not certain of it, but she thinks she does. So she says, "You must be." Then they remember the previous time that they met. And if you think you've met someone before, you might well say, "I think we met last time in Birmingham," in this case. And then finally, when she wants to introduce the man to somebody else, she uses, again, a standard phrase, "Let me introduce you to Kevin," she says.
Now let's hear another conversation. This next one is the kind you might have during a coffee break at a conference.
Hi, I'm Callum. Don't think we've met before? No, hello, I'm John. Pleased to meet you.
So, what line of work are you in?
I work in new media, mainly online projects, web design, that kind of thing. And what about you?
Well, quite similar to you, really. I'm in new media too, but more on the broadband technology side.
Oh, broadband. Do you know Alison Weaver? She's also here at the conference. She's in broadband too.
No, I don't think I met her.
So some similar expressions to the ones we heard earlier. David, can you pick out some of them for us?
There was a very good way of introducing yourself to someone you don't know there. The phrase was, "I don't think we've met before," to which the reply here was, "Pleased to meet you," a very standard way of greeting someone. I think in the previous conversation we heard the phrase, "nice to meet you," which again has exactly the same function. They then moved the conversation on when the person asked, "What line of work are you in?" It's a very common, a very friendly way of asking, "What's your job?" The other one replied, "I'm in new media," meaning I work in the new media industry. He could have said, "I'm in sales," or "I'm in insurance." And he then returned the question by simply saying, "What about you?"
Now let's go beyond simple introductions and move on to some phrases that are useful for asking more detailed questions about people's jobs.
So, Avi, how long have you been in business?
I've been in this business for about 4 or 5 years now, providing IT solutions in companies.
All right, so what exactly do you do? I mean, I know you mentioned IT solutions, but what exactly do you do?
Right. I used to only provide computer training, and now I'm also providing database solutions and internet solution by way of web development, setting up networks.
Everybody's talking about it. Broadband is a very interesting area at the moment. How did you get into it?
Well, to be honest, it happened by accident. I was involved in a project with a strong broadband element, and I just sort of fell into it, really. What about you? How long have you been in web design?
Well, not very long at all, actually. Only about a year. Before that, I was a teacher.
Now, in both conversations, people are going into a lot more detail about their professions, and there were lots of questions. Could you isolate some of the questions that we heard there?
Well, yes, to ask someone to tell you in a little more detail about their job, you can use the question, what exactly do you do? This will mean that they won't just say, I'm a teacher, I'm a web designer, or I'm a policeman. They'll tell you about the way that they spend their working day.
And once you've actually got a few details about their duties, about the kinds of things that they do at work, what would be the next logical question to ask them?
Well, there we heard the person say, how long have you been in web design? How long have you been in something? Again, is a good way of moving the conversation on. And the other question that they used to move the conversation on was, how did you get into it? In other words, how did you start in this particular profession or this particular career?
And again, we heard someone ask the same question back with that phrase, what about you? Of course, often the whole point of business socialising is to network and to make useful contacts for future possible business. So knowing how to get people's contact details is extremely important.
So, what line of work are you in?
I'm actually a VAT consultant for a firm of chartered accountants.
Oh, really? Do you have a business card I could take?
Yeah, sure, hold on.
Oh, thanks so much. Are you on the email?
Yes, yeah, I do have an email. In fact, I do most of my work via email nowadays. So it's actually on the bottom of the card.
Oh, sorry. So I'll be in touch.
Okay, that'll be great.
Thanks
very
a lot.
much. Bye.
Bye.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you. Your work sounds very interesting. Maybe we could swap some ideas at some point in the future. Can I take your business card?
Yeah, by all means. There you go.
And are you on email?
Oh, yeah, sorry, that's an old one. So the email address is on the back.
Well, I must go and say hello to a former colleague of mine. Enjoy the rest of the conference. I'm sure I'll see you around. And I've got your contact details, so I'll be in touch.
Lots of giving out of the all-important business card there. And David, there were lots of useful expressions too. Could you pick out some for us?
Yes, if you want to maintain contact with somebody, I suppose that the three key phrases that you need to remember are, can I take your business card? Are you on email? And just to show that you are going to maintain the contact, remember the phrase, I'll be in touch.
Plus, we had an extremely useful expression that's a great way of ending a conversation. That phrase, I must go and...
Yes, that's a very good way of ending a conversation. You can use all sorts of different reasons for ending it. I must go and talk to my colleague. I must go and speak to my boss. I must go and introduce myself to a customer. Any phrase like that will do, and it's a good, polite way of showing that the conversation is over.
Many thanks to David Evans for talking us through the expressions used every day in the workplace. I hope Business Language to Go has equipped you with some quick phrases for those different situations that occur during your working day.